Okay, here's the ingredients for a recipe for a paella for 2 people. Squid, you need about 125 grams cut into smaller pieces. Shrimp, about 150 grams of shrimp. You need to devein them, we'll skin them, devein them, and then cut them in half. Clams, about 150 grams of clams. You can also use mussels if you have mussels, if you prefer that. This is monkfish, about 125 grams of monkfish, cut into smaller pieces. But you can use any white, meaty fish. Just don't use a flaky fish because it'll fall apart. And this is the base of the paella, really. It's a sofrito. So this is made with these Nora Peppers. First you ground them up into a powder. We use about 3 or 4. Ground them up into a powder, and then put them in some olive oil in a pan on a low heat, and just kind of cook that powder a bit until it gets thick, and then add about 1/3 of a can of diced tomatoes, and then really reduce it into a paste, and near the end add chopped parsley, and then just make it into this nice paste. That's the stock. I use a shellfish stock, but you can use a fish stock as well. You can buy the cubes, I think, or you can make it fresh. But it is about 220 milliliters per person, or per 100 grams of rice. Okay, so we've got about 250 here. And that's the rice. It's Bomba rice, so you need 100 grams per person. So that's 200 grams. Here we have chopped parsley and garlic mixed with some olive oil. That's just to add a little bit as you're cooking. It just adds a nice flavor. That's where you get that garlicky flavor from. And finally, there's the saffron if you have it. If you don't have saffron, you can use turmeric. Not too much, just a little bit. It adds a nice color to the rice at the end. So yeah, let's get cooking. Okay, first thing in. Got olive oil inside the paella pan. This is about a 30 centimeter paella pan, which is perfect for 2 people. I put the shrimp heads in there in the beginning because I can, because I have the whole shrimps. And I'm also gonna kind of pre-cook the shrimps that I'm gonna put on top of the paella at the end. You don't have to do this. This is just what I do. I do this before I put the squid in. Okay. All right. So let's cook these. Okay. So I'm gonna take these shrimps out now. And I'm going to add the squid. Okay, now we're going to add the squid. And make sure your heat for all of this process is on medium. You don't need it too hot right now. So now we're going to cook the squids. Let's do that. We're going to add a little bit of garlic and parsley in here right now. I've removed the shrimp heads, and now I'm going to add the sofrito. And we're going to stir that around and mix it up with the squids before we add the rice. Okay, the sofrito is nice and mixed in there with the squids, so now we're going to add the rice. And we're going to mix the rice together with everything in the pan. Make sure it's nice and coated with everything. Okay, the rice is all nicely coated with all the sofrito, so now I'm going to add the stock. Slowly add it in there, and turn your heat down to low. And try and make it all level, the same level here. I like to give it a little shake. Heat on low, and let's wait to add our seafood. Adding my white fish now first. Just spread it around evenly so it's everywhere in the pan. And we'll let that cook for a minute, and then we'll add the shrimp. Okay, now I've added the shrimp 3 or 4 minutes later. And And the water you see is very slowly boiling. That's perfect. Just let it boil slowly and don't stir anything. Okay, don't let it, it's got to sit there to cook. Don't stir anything, just let it cook by itself. And we'll let it sit there for a while. And slowly it's gonna, the rice absorbs the liquid. So we're gonna let it do that for a while and just let it cook. Okay, after about 5-6 minutes, it's cooking good. I added the clams in there now. So we just gotta wait for that rice to absorb all that liquid. So it's still on kind of a low heat, medium low. Just sit back and let it cook. Still cooking good. It's absorbing the liquid. Also, I forgot to say earlier, make sure you put your saffron into your stock. If you add the saffron into the stock, that's where that color is going to come from. So I added those whole shrimp back in there because they still need a couple minutes of cooking. And I'm going to add a little bit more parsley and garlic over all of this just to give it that nice flavor. Okay, it's been about 10-11 minutes in there. So I'm going to taste it with my spoon, see if the rice is done yet. Probably it needs a little more time because you can see there's still a little bit of liquid. Yeah, a little more time. But now, turn the heat on high. Because now what we're going to try and do is make the bottom of the rice crispy. Not too much, it's just a fine line between crispy and burn. So, just have to use your spoon, keep tasting it, and scrape along the bottom. And when that rice is done, you should be good to go. Okay, we're nearly at the end now. With your spoon, you can just scrape along the bottom. Perfect. You can see it's a little, come in here, real close. You can see how it's kind of crunchy on the bottom. So I think we're good to go. The liquid's all gone. You can hear the kind of sizzle of it cooking. So we're going to turn the heat off now. Now, really important is to make sure you put the lid on and let it sit for 5 minutes, just resting. Okay, the heat is off, the lid is on, let it sit for 5 minutes before you eat, and it's going to do the final 5% of the cooking of the rice, and it'll be good to go, okay? Okay, after 5 minutes, take the lid off, put some lemons on there. Vamos a comer. It's ready. Let's eat.